Hi guys, welcome to the first part of this week's Coffee and Hero Show, taking you through all the new graphic novels into the store this week. Selection of soft covers, we've got hardcovers, we've got omnibuses, we've got compendiums, got a little bit of everything this week. So let's just dive right in. It is very much a mix of topping up the back catalogue, of course always making sure that we're getting titles back in that sell out or things that are back in print, that kind of thing. And then, of course, a mix of that and new releases as well. So we kick things off with Miles Morales' Spider-Man. This is volume 4 of the Cody Ziglar run. Art in this is by Federico Sabatini. And this covers Miles Morales' Spider-Man 17 to 20, as well as material from Web of Spider-Man number 1. The continued adventures of the superhero sensation of the 21st century. Next up, we have Human Target. Human Target's this fantastic book from Tom King and Greg Smallwood. It's heading trade paperback now as well as hardcover, so trade paperback in stock. We have Venomverse Reborn. This is a 4-issue miniseries written by Benjamin Percy. Written by a load of people, actually, to be honest. Benjamin Percy, Christos Gage, Al Ewing, Phil Kennedy Johnson, Adam Warren, etc., etc. Then you've got art by the likes of John McCrae, Stephen Byrne, Ken Lashley, Kei Zama, and more. So a little bit of a deep dive into the Venomverse there. Next up we have Bloodborne. This is volume 4 of Bloodborne, I believe. This collects Bloodborne 13 to 16, which is called The Veil Torn Asunder. Les Scott continues to write, Piotr Kowalski on art. Next up we have Red Light. This is the latest release from AWA Studios. So these are the guys that sort of focus on the genre storytelling. This was actually really, really good. I read this myself in single issues. So Sarah Cho writing and Priscilla Petrades on art, who of course did the art for Chariot and Hit Me, which were a couple of AWA titles. Speaking of those restocks, so getting Deceased back in stock where we can. So we have Deceased Hope at World's End, and Deceased Dead Planet. So again, just trying to make sure that that's the kind of title that we have in stock where possible. A little bit of Batman love here next. We wanted to make sure we had the Dark Knight trilogy in stock. So Dark Knight Returns. Any self-respecting comic store should always have this on stock, or at least on back order. So Dark Knight Returns. We have its sequel, The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Once again, Frank Miller and Lynn Varley. And then we finish off with DK3, which was Dark Knight and the Master Race. Frank Miller, co-written by Brian Azzarello, and then art by Andy Kubert, which rounds out the trilogy. Next up, we have Godzilla's 70th anniversary. So a deluxe hardcover. So you have 9 stories in this from creators such as Joel Jones, Michael Conrad, Matt Frank, James Stocco, Adam Gorham. It includes a reprint of the Best of Godzilla one-shot, which collects issues from Godzilla Legends, Godzilla in Hell, Rage Against Time, and Rulers of Earth as well. Speaking of sort of top-ups and reprints, they're slowly reprinting the trade paperbacks of the Tom King run, which was the Batman Rebirth run. So volume 2 here, I Am Suicide. This covers issues 9 to 15 of that run. So Tom King writing, and it has Mikael Yanin and Mitch Jerez on art. Next volume of Incredible Hulk out. So Incredible Hulk Soul Cages. This is volume 3 of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run. This contains issues 12 to 14, as well as Jan Size Hulk number 1 and Hulk Blood Hunt, so properly up to date there. Next up, we have Blue Book. So Blue Book, of course, is the book from James Tynion IV, as well as Michael Avon Oeming, looking at conspiracy theories from the past. This one focuses on 1947. So in 1947, Kenneth Arnold was flying his Cal Air A2 over the skies of the Pacific Northwest, when all of a sudden he saw a blinding flash of silver light. What followed was a bizarre and difficult to explain encounter with several flying objects that would change the course of his life forever. A couple of thicker editions coming up next. So we have the Epic Collection for Ghost Rider. This is Ghost Rider, this is volume 2. This covers issues 12 to 28, Marvel 2-in-1, Daredevil issues, Marvel Team-Up issues, Marvel Premiere issues, and material from Marvel Tales. This covers the era of 1975 to 1978. So you're getting into the classic era of Ghost Rider there. Next up, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Unlimited Power Part 2. This collects Mighty Morphin 7 to 12 and Power Rangers 7 to 12. So this is when it kicked off a little while back with Ryan Parent mostly guiding this. And it was Mighty Morphin was one title, Power Rangers was another, but you kind of needed both. It was an interlocking story. So we volume 1 over there, or part 1 over there I should say, and then this is part 2 out this week. Next up we have Star Wars Epic Collection, The New Republic Legends. This is volume 8. These stories take place after episode 6. This contains Star Wars Invasion 0 to 5, Invasion Rescues 1 to 6, Invasion Revelations 1 to 5, Star Wars Handbook number 2, Crimson Empire, and material from Star Wars Tales. Next up, we have ScoobyDoo's Greatest Adventures, printed through DC Comics. Celebrate the very best of Scooby-Doo with this compilation of the Mystery Inc. team's greatest cases, over 400 pages of 30 classic stories collected here. Next up, we have the Green Hornet Omnibus. This is volume 2. We got volume 1 in a few weeks ago there. This is being printed through Dynamite Comics. This contains, let's have a look here. Mysterious and deadly Red Hand makes his move against the Kato family. With Mulan, Aileen, and Hayashi guarding her, it falls to Green Hornet to stand alone against the deadliest foe he has ever faced. An enemy with training and knowledge surpassing even his, an enemy who can't be found until he strikes. So this is that. You then have the Outcast arc as well. Green Hornet and Kato team up issues as well. So again, talking about that topping up situation, getting all of Batman One Bad Day back in stock, well, or the volumes we were out of stock of anyway. These, of course, were a series of one-shots focusing on different villain each time, sort of playing on the whole idea of the Killing Joke of all it needs is one bad day for someone to sort of crack up a little bit. So we were getting these back in stock. So this is Ra's al Ghul, Bane, Catwoman, Penguin, Clayface, and Two-Face. And then the other ones from it, which were Riddler and Mr. Freeze, already on the shelf. So again, it's just about making sure that we have everything in stock there. Next up, we have Radiant Black Book 1. So we can see that Radiant Black is starting to move into the hardcover collections. This covers the first 12 issues of Radiant Black. Of course, created by Kyle Higgins and Marcello Costa. Definitely one of the best independent superhero books of the last few years. We have restocks back in for John Constantine Hellblazer by Jamie Delano. So volume 1 back in stock. We sold out of those last week, I believe. And then we finish off with undoubtedly the biggest release of this week, or possibly any week of the year, to be honest. It's a modern miracle that this book is finally out. It's a miracle that these two companies have, broken bread long enough to make sure that this gets released. We've ordered massive on it. We have more copies coming next week as well, because quite frankly, this is in print now. As soon as this goes out of print, you'll probably not see it again for 30 years. Secondary market will go nuts, and if you want to try and grab it, you'll be paying triple price. And that, of course, is the DC versus Marvel Omnibus. Now, we have got the two different covers in stock. So you do have that original George Perez cover for DC versus Marvel, or you have a brand new Jim Lee direct market cover. So the direct market cover you can only get in comic stores. This is the mass market cover, but this one you can only get in comic stores. This is pretty definitive for all of that stuff. So this basically, for the first time in 20 years, comics that started all are collected here. First time in 20 years, be at least 30, guarantee. So features team-up stories between the classic DC Universe and Marvel characters from Superman vs. Amazing Spider-Man 1, Marvel Treasury 28, DC Special Series 27, Marvel and DC present featuring the Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans, Batman Punisher, Lake of Fire, Punisher Batman Deadly Nights, Darkseid vs. Galactus The Hunger, Spider-Man and Batman #1, Green Lantern Silver Surfer Unholy Alliances, Silver Surfer Superman 1, Batman and Captain America 1, Daredevil and Batman 1, Batman and Spider-Man 1, Superman Fantastic Four 1, The Incredible Hulk vs. Superman #1, Batman vs. Daredevil King of New York. The volume also includes an exclusive cover by Jim Lee, which is this one, essays from the original creative teams, brand new introductions from former DC Comics President Paul Levitz and editor Mike Carlin, afterwards by writer Ron Mars and Marvel VP of Publishing and executive editor Tom Brevoort, original art pages from classic team-ups, and more. So again, I cannot stress enough, if this is the kind of thing that interests you, act fast on it, because once these go, they go, and I don't think people will want to resell them, to be honest with you. As I say, loads of copies in this week. We've already ordered more for next week as well, because we do anticipate quite high demand on it. It does come with a hefty £135 price point. We will be selling it at £125, though we will be knocking £10 off it. We always do what we can where we can with these. So as I say, definitely the biggest release of this week. So yeah, that is going to do it for everything that is new into the store this week in terms of graphics. As ever, make sure to check back, and we'll have a video up for single issues due out this week, and take you through all of those as well. As ever, guys, hope this proved useful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully see you in the store throughout the week. So until then, take it easy.